Hi students, it's your professor here. So I wanted to discuss this assignment with you guys, our very first assignment. It is an observation paper. So what I'm going to be asking you to do is to select a person. It really can be any person, a friend of yours, your parent, your boss, whoever, and you're going to be having a conversation with them. The conversation is going to last anywhere from about 15 minutes to, 25 or so. So it should be a pretty substantial conversation because you're going to need enough data, so to speak, to actually come up with the length of paper that you're going to be writing, which I will discuss in a little bit. So when you select your person, very, very important, guys, you have to let them know that this conversation you guys are going to be having is for a project. You can't just, talk to somebody and not get their permission. Okay, so you definitely will let the person know. Like, let's say it's my friend. I say, hey, can we talk for a little bit? It's for a psychology project. I don't want you to tell them beforehand, before the conversation, what the project actually is, although you can tell them, of course, after the fact. All right. So, let's say I go to my friend and I say, hey, I need to have this conversation with you for my psychology paper. I'll tell you what it's about after we talk, but just so you know, this is going to be used for my paper. And the person's going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. So the topic of the conversation can be absolutely anything at all. Okay. It is, I want to emphasize here that we're not counseling the person. All right. If they want to talk about, they just broke up with somebody, they're welcome to do that, but they already know that this is going to be used for your assignment and it is not a formal counseling session of any kind. So let's say that my friend did just go through a breakup and I say, okay, well, you can talk about the breakup if you want. They probably are going to want to. And so at this point, as we're having the conversation, I do want you guys to do more of the listening as you would be if you were counseling the person and let them do more of the talking. Of course, if they don't, sometimes it doesn't really work out that way. And even in a true counseling session, many times it doesn't work out that way. But what I want you to be doing as you're having this conversation, you should have something to write with, and it should be, out of the vision of the person. But I want you to be taking notes on their nonverbal behavior. And this is all, of course, you should have read the chapter, and so you already have an idea of what kinds of things you're going to be looking for. You're going to be recording their nonverbal behavior, and you're also going to record sort of the content of the conversation. So if you make any, where you have any realizations as you're talking to this person, let's say, as they're talking about, oh, he cheated on me, their head is in their hands and they're sort of rocking back and forth. Well, that would be a good observation for you to write down. If they're kind of laughing about it as they're talking about it, something very, very sad and difficult, that's another thing for you to write down. So at the end of the conversation, you can go ahead and reveal to the person what the assignment is about. Certainly, if they say, oh, well, gosh, I don't want you to use this, unfortunately, you're going to have to find another person. But chances are good if they already knew what the assignment was for, that it'll be fine. Okay. And at that point, then what I want you to do is to take all of that raw data. You don't have to hand that part in to me, but you're going to need it. And I want you to write a 1.5 to 2 page paper. And I want this to be an actual substantial paper. It should be in paragraph form. It should involve a lot of critical thought. And I want you to answer for me the questions that are contained in the document, which is also attached to this assignment. So all of this is in writing as well. I have a list of questions. And basically, you're going to be looking at and discussing, what did you observe from this person? And the idea of this is for you to start getting in that mindset of connecting an individual's nonverbal behavior to the content of the conversation and really thinking critically about, what is the meaning? What is this telling me? What can I get from this? And also to start to consider your own potential nonverbal behaviors and the way that that can influence interaction with another person, because this is something very, very important and vital to counseling in general. All right. So go ahead and take a look over, the paper that I have attached here too. If you guys have any questions or concerns about what you're supposed to be doing, or you want me to review your papers in advance, please go ahead and email me, reach out to me. If you want me to review your paper in advance, it's going to have to be submitted to me before Thursday of this week. I can't guarantee that, I'll be able to have time to look it over and get it back to you in time otherwise. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.